Many centuries ago, 2600 years to be precise, Siddhartha Gautam, the prince, became the Buddha, a Samyak Sambuddha, who finds out the path towards enlightenment, towards moksha, towards nirvana. Everybody knows the story. And he led the people, millions of them, to experience nirvana. He taught them the path of liberation towards enlightenment and called it the Dharma, the Dhamma, which is nothing else but the laws of nature. The laws of nature is called Dharma, which governs every single thing in this universe is Dharma. Dharete iti dharam. Dharete lakshana swabhava iti dharam. Whatever is the nature of that thing or the being is its Dharma. This is the understanding of Dharma. So we have to understand this process was leading towards purification of the mind, helping people to come out of their bondages, to come out of the suffering. And to come out of the suffering, they had to purify the mind with the process by using the body as a tool. So 2600 years ago, the lifestyle was very manual, hardcore manual labor. And the body was in a very good condition, strong condition, to sit for hours, a purified state of body, because the lifestyle was purer. And so they could experience this complete freedom from defilements and become enlightened, become Buddhas themselves. 500 years down the line, the lifestyles changed. Very little, just little. But at that time, another great sage, a wise man called Patanjali, was teaching the Dharma again. And he wrote this famous Patanjali Yoga Sutras, a great scientist, a very scientific mind. He wrote formulas to experience yoga. And in the very second sutra of his 198 aphorisms, he explains and defines yoga and says, Yoga, chitta vritti nirodha, the cessation of the mind, the complete cessation of mind and its mental contents is called yoga. A state of no mind is called yoga. This is the defining statement of Patanjali. He changed the lifestyle a little bit because he wanted to balance the very tool which was out of sync for practicing the Dharma of subtle mind. So he designed some asanas maybe. And in this entire aphorism, his collections, only 4 or 5 sutras talk about asanas and pranayama. Rest all he is talking about how one purifies the mind. This is the essential core teaching of Patanjali. So, in those days, 2000 years ago, or 500 years after the Buddha passed away, he said the asanas which enabled one to experience yoga, to come to the experience of yoga, is called yogasanas. So essentially in the 21st century, when people come to me and I meet so many people, thousands of them, and they say, the teachers say, I'm doing yoga. What are you doing? I'm doing yoga. You can never do yoga. One can never teach yoga. It's like saying, I'm doing samadhi. I'm doing nirvana. Not possible. Because when you are experiencing the state of samadhi, when you're experiencing the state of nirvana, the I dissolves. There is no I. You cannot do it. By doing it, you are going in the opposite direction. You are in the presence of nirvana or samadhi. In that very moment, there is total cessation of mind and its mental content. The mind ceases to exist. The I will cease because the mind will cease. Time will cease, and so do the mind will cease because mind exists in time. So the very experience of yoga is synonym with samadhi. Samadhi means yoga, yoga means samadhi. This is the understanding of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It is such a sad state that in the 21st century, millions of people are either in a state of ignorance or lying and saying, I'm teaching yoga or I'm doing yoga. It's not a correct way of explaining and understanding yoga. By doing postures, you can say I'm doing asanas at the most, but not yoga. It's an experience. You cannot do it. So, we have to understand this experience will come within yourself. This state of samadhi is yoga. It is a realization which comes to oneself. If only doing postures and asanas and bending your bodies will help, then the circus gymnast, the dombaris, would become yogis. A flexible body is not yoga. All the postures, all the asanas, we can categorize them under the parameter of flexibility. And this can be called asanas but not yoga. So one has to understand, if you're stating the name of Patanjali as the father of yoga, please understand his definition of yoga is chitta vritti nirodha, the complete cessation of mind and its mental contents. A state of no mind is yoga. So the next time you're doing asanas, please refrain from saying that I'm teaching yoga or I'm doing yoga. Happy yogi training.